group. Doing something a little different here. I've never recorded a session of mine, actually recording a replay of a session, but it's a Sunday afternoon. My elbow surgery is killing me. I'm out of painkillers, so I'm going old school alcohol painkiller. And I figured the best way to keep my mind occupied while I get my buzz on is to go ahead and give some commentary on the couple games Fede and I played, and if I get to it, commentary on the how many games? The 5 games that Donovan and I played. So without further ado, here's game one of 2 games that Fede and I played. Let's do it. All right. Uh, eh, Kind of an interesting call on my part. 5-10. That's probably the outside of where I'm calling at. All right. So this is early in the match, and by the way, I got rid of everything that wasn't, that somebody opened and folded. All these hands I'm going to show, I think there were 54 in total. This is like 24 hands. There's action going on with all these. Thought process here was I've got a gut shot. It's early in the match. I just kind of wanted just to put to Fede a little bit, see where he stood in terms of things. I'm not going terribly crazy with this here, but that was my rationale. So he responds. Uh, Now my gut shot's turned into a flush draw, but it was a weak flush draw, so I let it go. As you can see, Fede had garbage as well. Standard open 5-7 suited. Like I said, one of the things I'm doing a little bit different here is because 3 betting is so prevalent, it's probably like anywhere between 15 and 20% of hands. If I'm folding out hands like 5-7 suited, uh, I'm just going to end up getting crushed. And those hands play really well if the 3 better misses with his premium hands. Um, so this is a relatively new thing that I'm doing here, doing this. But when he bets and I've got garbage, I'm folding. Interesting betting with King King there, Fede. Very interesting. All right, another standard open here. Standard bet with the ace scare card. I mean, when you're opening 70% of your hands, you're going to be c betting with a lot of garbage. Got the gut shot on the monochrome board, or actually open ender on the monochrome. I mean, that's effectively a bluff there with the 4, with the third pair. It is nice when the second 4 would spike there, but it's definitely a bluff. Okay, so here is one of the things that I've started to do, and I ran this by Donovan. Is I am trying to, when I'm in the 10, 20, 15, 30 range, I am always now starting to at least limp one hand with the idea that I'm trying to kind of prepare the battlefield here with limping. Um, you know, I really don't give a shit about the Jack 8 hand, and I'm totally going to let this thing go here. I'm not going to fight for it or anything, but I'm just wanting to establish in Villain's head, and unfortunately Fede and I have had conversations about this, the idea that I am willing to limp. So I'm probably just going to check this thing down the whole way and then fold to a bet. Standard C bet. That's an interesting board here. Well, that's nice. I mean, that board definitely favored my range as opposed to Fede's range. But as you can see there, you know, there's so much stuff he's calling with that possibly could hit the bottom end of his range. I have been somewhat of a pussy of floating him here, so I think I'm going to get a little bit more involved in standing up to his raises. One of the things I mentioned to Fede is during our game, I don't know if it was Fede or Donovan. One of them, I'm just three betting the shit out of King X. Go with the little turn stab there. And give up from it. Pretty passive so far by Mr. Soper. Fede is beating me like a drum there. This I think we're going to get a little carried away with. Well, and this is one of those things, and I don't know if this is right or wrong. Again, I am less. I'm willing to kind of walk away from some triple barrels earlier, some stab at the turn, walk away from the river, specifically for this hand where I stabbed at the turn and then he calls, and then I stab again at the river with a nice basically 3/4 size bet here, um, and hopefully the Fed is going to give me some credit for it, even though I got third pair. Third pair, busted flush draw, busted straight draw. This is I want to say this is the second time first or second time where he's donked into me. So I will be curious to see what Fede has with this donk. Top pair on the donk. All right. This I definitely just want to get it to the showdown if possible. Yeah. Well, look at that. Got a little crazy there, huh, Timothy? Okay, I thought maybe I would just try to waltz this thing to showdown. Fours are not fours are not something I'm typically three betting with so much, but I believe my rationale behind there. Let's see here. Let's go back to this thing here. Believe my rationale is that the bet sizing puts him in a weird kind of spot where I mean, what's he gonna do here? Is he gonna flat? Is he gonna shove on me here? You know, I'll probably, like I said, if he flats me, I'll probably just be shoving on him on the flop or the turn here. So uncomfortable stack size for me here. Unlucky for Fede that I spiked the river. Just unlucky. I did like this, so the overbetting there at 20 big blinds. It made me pause. You don't see that in the video, but it definitely made me pause. Think about what he's got. Very connected board that I will walk away from. I think on the once on the flop that I don't bet that. I don't know how Fede looks at this, but to a certain degree, it signals some weakness. I guess I could have a made hand. I could have King 10 or something like that, and I'm just allowing him to try to catch up. Um, I think, though, they're just so well connected that I probably would be betting with the idea that if it hits him, that he's going to go along anyhow, and I'm going to start to get some money in. Therefore, when I don't bet it, it definitely signals that I don't have it. That's my logic on that. Drunk Sunday afternoon logic, brought to you here on Donovan's Nevada Non's WhatsApp channel. Well, that was nice. What did Fede have there? What was he able to walk away from? Ah, garbage. Again with the raise. It's interesting. Definitely say stack sizes they do get uncomfortable in terms of how you want to be betting here when you're at like 20 big blinds. Standard sticking it in with ace king. Unfortunately, I'm well aware of the fact that I lose this race. Spikes the 4. Clearly a big turning point there. Kind of at a point with the 20 big blinds that if I am going to float him there or check raise, I mean, I've just got to be willing to commit fully to that bluff. All right, so let's go back to this hand. To me, this is the ace king is what it is. This was a phenomenal play on Fede's part here. Okay, so I've got 915. All right, so he's going to bet, and in my mind, when he bets $100, my mind, I can walk away from that. Now, I'm not very happy walking away from 350. Um, you know, it's going to leave me somewhat crippled at 615 here, but it's not. It's right on the edge of where I could have walked away from it. So it really just forces Fede to either, knowing that I'm going all the way with this here, that a bluff is worthless on his part, unless he has some type of read on me here. And when he shoves, I mean, I time banked this thing for a long time, but that was exactly where I thought I could walk away from it. I was torn on the king 7 there, and I think that I would have to go back and look at some of the math whether or not I should have walked away from it or not. But I thought that was a very good shove on Fede's part. So we're probably 2-3 hands now away from the end of this thing. Standard. Is my 2's going to hold up? And no, it won't. Alright, hope you guys enjoyed me putting together this screen recording here. Not my greatest play.